Hey guys, hope you're doing wonderful. It's me, Akashic Love. I'm here with some more BPD, borderline personality disorder topics. So, yes, I've been living with it for my entire life. I was diagnosed 3 years ago. It's a personality disorder. It's not a mood disorder. Mood disorders affect your mood. Personality disorders affect your personality, your identity, your outlook on life. So the way a person would have like bipolar is like they'd have extreme highs, they'd have extreme lows, and they'd have regular days. But a person with borderline personality disorder, it's all based on triggers. I can be perfectly fine, and then a trigger, and then it's like, oh my God, the whole world is over. So I could go, I guess, my entire life without an episode if there were no triggers, right? So does that mean that I don't have it because I can go my entire life without it because there's no triggers? I don't even know. I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Right? Like, do you hear a tree fall in the forest if no one is around? Well, no one has to be around to hear it, but it's still making noise. So, yeah. But basically, I could cry at the drop of a hat, like at the slightest of anything. My feelings get hurt easily because they're like fragile. Like a lot of people, oh, what are you crying over? You're crying over nothing. It's la da 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 da. And you're like, but how could you say that? It's like devastating. You know? It's, I don't know what it's like to live with any other personality disorder or whatever. So I don't know what they go through. But I know, like, it can be rough because you could go from being frantic in a, like, scared state because you're scared. You can't really function. You're frozen. So you're probably just sitting in one place. You start disassociating. And then you feel like, oh, maybe I can do something about it. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do that. But that just leads to impulsivities. And that's how people end up committing suicide and no one saw the signs. It happens for real. Like, you're not always going to see the signs. You're not always going to know because a lot of people, they don't want to talk about it. They feel embarrassed to. They feel like, oh, I'm going to talk about it and people are going to talk about me, or it's just going to be like bad. And, their fear is valid in my eyes because I see like the reaction that I get when I talk about BPD, and it's like it's not like hot acid. Like, I'm not gonna get acid on you. I'm not gonna like eat you, kind of a thing. People have a twisted idea of what a personality disorder is. No, I'm not 20 different people, but I could be, because I have an identity problem, I could be myself at various stages in life. So I could be 13, or I could be 22, like, because of my identity problem. But it's not a it is a personality disorder. Like, I don't know it's hard to describe. Like, I make these videos so it becomes easier for me to understand what I'm living with, because it's like when you're in the boat, you can't really see the boat, kind of a thing. So the videos kind of help me be able to see the boat, understand, live with. I want you guys to really be aware of these things, because I'm tired of people like dying by suicide because no one's listening. People with BPD have a life expectancy of 27 years old because of the harsh reality of suicide, of depression, of the constant torture that we live within that's not acknowledged. Because why? Because invisible disabilities really aren't acknowledged or taken seriously. They're considered a joke, and it's really sad, especially if you're high functioning. Some people are just high functioning, like they still have the sickness, they still have to live with these unexpected triggers and the pain of abandonment, and these things like really run deep. I know for me, it was like I've been on my own since I was 13. I haven't seen my parents since I was 13. So there was a time when I did have my own apartment that I could never be alone in my own apartment. I was so terrified. But then, if people tried to come over to visit me, I wouldn't let them in my apartment because I was so terrified. Like, it's such a mental trap, and you feel like you're trapped and you can't escape, but you want out. You don't know how to get out. No one's gonna help you get out because people don't even understand themselves. Like, psychiatrists are just now learning themselves about borderline personality, and they're really learning more about disorders, period, and we're getting to the point where we're treating them, and instead of like poking holes in people's heads, because that was a thing at one time in American history. They loved to give you a lobotomy and be like, look, we fixed you. For real. But yeah, so as much as we have like this part that is really like sad and dark, we're still like wonderful people. We like accept people. We have like extreme emotional empathy, and it's a gift. But for some people, they can manipulate it or use it against you, or some people consider empathy a weakness. Some people consider empathy just makes you a lower life form. Some people are like that, but that doesn't make them right. Some people just, it's like how you have people that have too much empathy, then you have people that don't have any empathy, right? So those would be like sociopaths or whatever. And no, I'm not a doctor, but I have been like in places with like different kinds of people that have different mental illnesses, and I've lived with them, and I've seen how they behave and operate, and you know, people are people. It's just what they do with it, because a person could not have empathy, but at the same time they don't have to like twist the knife when they have the chance, kind of a thing, you know. And when people do, just like with borderline personality, like you don't, like people don't have to, I mean, I've had times where I get like angry, like sad, angry, crying, but like I know good and well not to, I try to keep my composure as much as possible. So that means keeping myself away from certain people, situations, learning to walk away immediately, do not stand there to talk, ask why, conversate. Yeah, all the good stuff, guys. So in terms of the entire living with it, I guess, they treat the symptoms like for a mood disorder. They can treat the mood disorder, right? Because it's a chemical imbalance. But for a personality disorder, it's not a chemical imbalance. It's just the way your brain works. And you have to retrain your brain because of the abuse, the neglect. Like when people with their babies and people don't play with them a lot, so they're left alone and then they're quiet, or like they don't have the social skills necessary to flourish. No matter what you look like, those things matter. So if you don't have them, and it's not like you know what they look like to even ask, so you don't even know what you need, you know? Like it's like being in a garden, you see all these gardening tools, but you don't know what they're for. Those are all your emotions. You don't know what they're for. You don't know how to make anything work, connect. Be like, hey, look at my garden. And then you have like a shovel hanging from a tree. Like, I guess it's creative and inventive, but we all know that that's not what a shovel is for. Jeez. But that's kind of BPD. Like, you just gotta like hope for the best and be like, okay, so yeah, so everything is based on mood. What do you feel like eating tonight? I don't know what I feel like. Food, I don't know, maybe Indian, Jamaican, Spanish, Mexican. It just makes you indecisive most of the time. It's really like, it can be kind of crazy if you don't learn to manage those things and have a bottom line of, okay, well, I like this, I like this, I like this, okay. We can stick with that. But it's like, even though I like all of that, if my mood isn't like into that, it doesn't matter. Like, it can be tiresome, like, for real. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And I know that I've just been like talking. That's what I wanted to do in this video. I really didn't want like a specific topic. I just wanted to overall talk about how it affects your, like, how your emotions react to things, like, and how you end up getting caught in the spiral of, like, constant emotional instability, because it's actually a cycle. It's not like, oh, this happened or this happened. It's a cycle of, well, don't have identity. My emotions are constantly hurt. I feel like it's torture. And that can lead to impulsivities. Let me hurry up and make myself happy so I can buy things. Let me hurry up and just eat this cake because it's really good. I'll feel better. It's like I eat a cake and then I get it's like that's where my hugs come from. So if you have anyone in your life that's dealing with that and their behavior is kind of like awkward, just keep that in mind. Be patient with people because it's really hard to deal with. It's really hard to notice. I notice because I'm always by myself. I live by myself and just I have a lot of time to think. And I just didn't like certain things. So it like interfered with school, interferes with work. One day I'll do a video on that. So I hope you have a good day. Bye. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.